So I first met Brad and Hannah actually through my yoga studio, and I was been in the market for looking to buy a new home for a while. I didn't really have any contact, so I put it out to the Facebook yoga page, and Hannah's name came up, I want to say at least 3 or 4 times, just based on the recommendations alone from the community. And they said such great things about her. I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go with Hannah. And then contacted Hannah, and then her and Brad came out to the house that I was living in. And once they introduced themselves, it was kind of a done deal for me. They're super personable. One of the things that I really respected about Brad was that I really felt like he was completely transparent, didn't feel like I got the sell, but actually felt like he was in it to make sure that I got what I was looking for versus kind of what they were looking for. So it really felt like a partnership from the beginning, and from there, that's kind of how we got started. When I first met Brad and Hannah and they came out, Brad really walked me through kind of all the different services that they had to offer. It wasn't just we're here to get you into a new house or sell your houses. They talked about, they had the staging company where they were going to take care of all the staging when I was selling my house. We had conversations around the market was a little questionable, and I wasn't actually sure if I was going to be able to sell my house for what I needed to get out of it. So Brad actually walked me through that he had connections with the property management company, and really helped me understand that this was kind of a full service team, and it wasn't just we're going to again help you buy a house. I really felt like it was, like I said, kind of like a team and a partnership where they had the connections to not just sell my house and get me into a house, but again, if things didn't go as planned, they were also going to help me set up to convert my house into a rental, which I thought was pretty amazing. And I hadn't really heard of any kind of realtor company kind of giving a one-stop shop for all things that a person could potentially need when they're trying to purchase home and sell their home. So as luck would have it, I found the house that I wanted to purchase, which is this one here, which I fell in love with before my house actually went up for sale. The thing that I really appreciated working with Hannah and Brad was that they really walked me through the process of making sure they understood what needed to be true for me to be able to close on this house while working to actually put my house up for sale, and just the different transition points and what that meant as far as trying to get into this house and still had that house up for sale. And that's where I really respected Brad and Hannah, where they weren't trying to do the hard sell. They weren't trying to tell me like, we're gonna lower your price in order to get the sell. It was help us understand what I needed to feel comfortable with. And if they couldn't meet that, then they were gonna help me transition to a rental and really support me through the whole process, and then kind of come back a year later and we'll put it back on the market was kind of the talk track and storyline. I really felt like they supported me through the whole process, and were really geared towards what was the best thing for me and what was the outcome that I was looking for versus just a quick sell for their side of it. My experience with Hannah, the journey started in April of 2024, and I didn't close on this house until June of 2025. So we had a very long history. And the thing that I really appreciated working again with Hannah and Brad was, again, it was kind of a team effort, but working with Hannah, what I found was she was so communicative. Actually, I was really surprised at how well she communicated. She was really quick to respond to any kind of questions I had. It never felt like it was a bother when I pinged her with questions, and I did have a lot of questions, and she always responded, with kind of a smile. We toured more houses than I can count. And oftentimes I'd feel guilty because I'd walk into the house and look around and be like, yeah, no, this isn't it. And never felt like, again, I was a burden. It was always like, okay, great, we're gonna find the next one. That support didn't change over the course of the whole year. Like I said, this was a super long process. And in some cases, we may go a month without actually finding a house that was really set to fit me, which is something I also appreciated. Hannah never tried to sell me on a house that she knew I wasn't looking for. So again, it was that partnership and that feeling like they really had my best interest. And it got to the point where, Hannah would, when we'd interact, I have a 16-year-old son, she'd ask about my son. It was very personable, and it really felt like she was part of it versus someone that was just kind of assisting me, but like she was in the journey with us. She was there, helping us along the way, and again, was just such a pleasure to work with. When I found this house, Hannah and Brad were really great at making sure that kind of everything was covered. They set me up with a home inspector that they had worked with before, which were great. And when that home inspector came in, I had some questions around the plumbing that was here. And Hannah went out and she found a local plumbing contractor, actually had them come and do a walkthrough and set me up with just peace of mind of understanding from a contractor side of what it would look like if I wanted to replace the plumbing and stuff. I feel like that was way above and beyond anything that a regular realtor would do. But again, Hannah turned that around, I want to say in like 24 hours. It was a last minute ask for myself based on some things that we had learned about the house. And when we came for the inspection, like the inspector showed up and the plumber showed up. And I had a quote from the plumber the next day, and I really knew kind of what I was getting into and felt really confident about it. Hannah and Brad really wanted me to get the house, but also were very vigilant to making sure that I knew what I was getting into and that they were getting me the absolute best deal possible. I would absolutely recommend Hannah to anyone. The overall experience for over a year was amazing. I actually ran into her on the street in Enumclaw here recently, and it wasn't like wait, who are you? I haven't worked with you for a couple months. It was like, oh, Bob, it was really great and really special. And I think that she's absolutely amazing. And if anyone wanted a realtor that had their best interests in mind, I don't think you could do any better than Brad and Hannah.